Everyone, my name is Luke. This is my first full-length video in like 6 years, so I'm a little out of practice. But I just kind of wanted to get back into it, rant about the random pop culture things I like, all that good stuff. Today I wanted to review Mike Flanagan's first movie, ABSENTIA. You should know Mike Flanagan from small shows like Hill House or Bly Manor, House of Usher, all of those. Absentia was filmed on a very small budget. It was literally a Kickstarter film, which is to be expected for a director's first movie. It definitely shows through. It's not got the same suspense as like a fully produced horror movie, but I think the bones of a really good movie and story are there. The pieces really fit together to show you like the characterization and the storytelling that Mike Flanagan can really fully explore in his higher productions later on. And I think it's a really cool look at like the early era of a really great director. The plot centers around a protagonist whose husband has been missing for 7 years, so he just up and vanished, and they're officially calling him dead in absentia. Roll credits. The main character Trisha, who is currently pregnant with the baby of another main character, Detective Mallory, and a lot of the plot centers around her guilt around moving on and like being with Detective Mallory. In the absence of her husband, because like the guilt in her is like, hey, what if he shows back up? Which, spoiler alert, he does. And on top of all of this, her sister Callie comes back, who is a recovering drug addict and who ran away, was kind of like living her own life for a while, just like out of contact with everyone. This makes for some really interesting characters and relationships that you wouldn't normally see in an indie horror movie like this. It's really well done the way like the characters interact. I think the acting left a little to be desired, but it was mostly just due to like experience. This movie was very much Mike Flanagan and his friends, making a movie. Obviously, it was a Kickstarter, so it's not like it was a big studio movie. They were just having fun with it, which you can see shine through. Like, there is definitely heart in this movie, and I absolutely love that. I also see a lot of parallels between this movie and Bly Manor, one of his future shows, about the theming of like loss and guilt about that, where like her husband is gone, and so she's really processing through how do I move on and what's okay to move on. It ties into the horror aspect of the movie, which centers around a tunnel nearby her house, and it really represents like the trauma of both Trisha and Callie and how they're processing everything, and how like if you let it consume you, it will consume you, which is very much like, spoiler alert again, what the tunnel does. The movie never fully explains what the creature in the tunnel is, or it doesn't even give a full shot of it, but I think that works in its favor because it's so low budget. It's scarier to be left to the imagination than it would be to be like, a crappy CGI monster. All in all, I just kind of wanted to rant about this movie. I think it's a really interesting, like, stripped down version of Mike Flanagan's mind and how he works with horror. And even with the budget limitations, you can see a lot shining through in it. So I would probably give this movie like a 6 out of 10. It was surprisingly good for such a, small indie movie. That's pretty much all I wanted to do today. Sorry if this is so cobbled together and like quickly done. I'm not used to doing this at all, and just kind of wanted to do it real quick just as a fun little thing. If I start doing this more, I'll probably get more refined at it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in.